All right, welcome everybody. It's Chris Petri. Thank you so much for coming by. This is a fun show and tell video for me. I'm just going to show you some earlier works that I did a number of years ago, let's say going back 10 years, 15 years ago or so. I found this book when I was kind of like organizing my studio in the attic. I was going through some boxes and I found this kind of keepsake book I had set up where I put a whole bunch of things in plastic, photographs of my, or old paintings of mine that I did when I was first starting out in watercolor or within my first 5 or so years of painting and drawing in watercolor, or even 10 years. So yeah, these are kind of a mix of things going back 10, 15, 20 years ago at the most. And so this first one is my local town. You probably noticed this is the clock tower you'll see in some of my introduction videos and outro videos. And I did this one early, many, many years ago from a different perspective from the other side of the building, but kind of showing you the whole entire building, which is really beautiful. It's a gorgeous building. It's got a giant clock on top, and it's got a whole bunch of stores, interesting stores all through the first floor of the building, and then there's office spaces up top on the second floor and third floor. So wonderful building here in my local town of Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Just a beautiful place here we have. And so I'll move on to another one here. So I'm just going to kind of go through the book. There's maybe like 15 pages here of paintings and things. And I apologize here too if it's kind of noisy, if you hear some kind of clanging and stuff. It's a kind of a big book, and I don't know if it's going to hit things and whatever. There's so many pages in the book, but and if you're new here and this is your first time here, welcome. This is kind of an offbeat video I'm doing. It's just my show and tell video of some of my earlier work. And so if it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button down on the right-hand side below so you don't lose me here and lose us here, because we're doing great, fun, interesting videos every week of all the favorite watercolor videos you want to create: boats, seascapes, landscapes, trees, mountains. We do figure painting, portrait painting, flowers, still life. We create everything here watercolor, drawing and painting in watercolor. So you'll have a fun time if you stick here on my channel. You'll learn all the basics you need in watercolor on this channel so that you get better and better each week, and week after week, month after month, and year after year. So you're arriving at the right place at the right time here. But this is just a little offbeat video we're doing here. I'm just going to show you my earlier things I was working on. So that's the clock tower building in Radburn, New Jersey, in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, my hometown where I live. And then this is a really interesting, fun landscape painting with like I think I was thinking this is kind of like a winery with like a beautiful building, maybe like a winery with like some beautiful fields and trees and things like that, maybe in Italy somewhere, or in France. Kind of like a fun landscape type video painting. And then here we have, this is just a house. This is a pen drawing. So it's a pen drawing with watercolor. So you can kind of see that's a pen drawing first and then watercolor over the top. And then this one here is pretty much a pencil drawing with watercolor. Beautiful. Again, I really enjoy architecture and homes and buildings and things like that. So you'll notice that I really do enjoy that a lot. You'll see a lot of those type paintings on my channel and tutorials. So that was kind of fun. I did a couple figures in there too. So these are interesting. We'll flip the page over. Again, apologies for the noise. This one's kind of more of an abstract one, but this is nice nonetheless. A nice, quaint little ranch house. And then here another pen drawing with a house. Looks like a ranch too. Cabin out there in the beautiful, happy wilderness. Trees and grass and fields. What else do we have here? Another great, fun building out here. Nice mansion out in the countryside. Pine trees and roads and mountains. Beautiful sky washes. Zoom in there. Contrast here. I can remember back doing this years and years ago, and I always remembered, wow, contrast looks great, right? The white, bright white facade of that mansion with the shadows and then the dark pine trees. That looks really good. And then what else do we have? My local train station in my town, my hometown. We have a train station there, Radburn Station. And I was starting to do figures at this point, trying to add in those beautiful, gorgeous figures to just make the painting so much more interesting and lively. So we have some figures in there. And we have, you can see the figures have dynamics to them. One guy is over there, has his newspaper maybe. And then people kind of waiting for the train. Some people walking. That's pretty interesting. And then, just another beautiful house in the mountain somewhere in the countryside. And again, beautiful contrast, white facade, bright sunlit facade with gorgeous red and brown burgundy chimney and rooftops. Nice rich greens, pine trees and things. Beautiful foreground with sand and things like that. Let's see. Let's keep going here. We're not, there's not a ton of stuff in this book. It's kind of a, just a smattering of things here. This is great. This is Atlantic City. I travel to Atlantic City quite often with my parents. And I used to sit in the room and look out the beautiful large windows of the buildings. I used to stay at the Trump Marina or the Borgata. We still go there. And I would do a pen drawing first and then add some washes of watercolor. And you can kind of see this beautiful skyline of Atlantic City there. And what else do we have next? This is my relatives over in New York, in Queens, New York. They have a gorgeous, beautiful house in Queens, and we go there all the time to visit and have fun, barbecues in the summertime. And that's the front of the house there. And we have backyard in Queens. Look how good that looks. This is really one of my really favorites. Backyard, they have a barbecue and a little tent set up with picnic tables and a garden in the back with all kinds of flowers and vegetables and things in the summer. And we go there and barbecue and have fun. And this is my parents' house here. So I did a number of paintings of my parents' house when I was first starting out in watercolor. I would just set up my gadabout McLaren chair and sit in front of the house and paint in my lap with my sketchbook. And so this is my house in Fairlawn here in Jersey. And then I did another rendition. This one's a little more thicker paint. So I had more thick paint there. Sunlight. Interesting. We had some fun washes of paint there. Good details too. The garage, front door, windows, bushes and trees and things. And again, the same thing. Another house. See, if it's close by, I can just sit my chair down and do some sketchbook painting. I'm doing it. And we have another one. Same thing. So these are just so much fun to share with you, my early paintings. And again, many of you have sent in paintings and they look so fantastic. I'm happy to see everybody picking up their brushes and paints and really making a lot of progress and then sharing with me and everybody else. I'm sure many of you are sharing your artwork with others and going into competitions and all that. It's all good. This is my sister and brother-in-law's pool club. We used to go there all the time as a family, get together, have hamburgers and hot dogs on the the beach area. They have a giant lake-like pool there, and that's their clubhouse there on the water, and they have all the burgers and lifeguards standing there and all that good stuff. And again, we have another painting of this train station. Again, I parked my chair in front of the train station and started painting and drawing. So we had some interesting. I hope everyone is sticking with me here. It's a little bit, I could tell it's not the most still video I've ever done. I'm sure this thing is moving all around. You're probably getting dizzy. That's just another fun mansion type large contemporary house. Architecture is really cool. It's like a dream house having a giant modern house with windows everywhere and a pool in the backyard. Pen drawing with watercolor washes over the top, another rendition of a house along a hill. Pen drawing, watercolor, light wash over top of watercolor. And then we're having some fun here, pencil sketching. My brother and sister-in-law have a place over in the Bronx, and they have a park with mansions on the park area, and you can go there and just hang out. We were pencil drawing and hanging out. They were doing some yoga and reading and things like that, and I was sketching. That's the Barstow Park, or Barstow Mansion in Bronx, New York. That's the carriage house, the old antique carriage house, going back to the 1800s, I think. That's the mansion, the Barstow Mansion. I tried doing a car there. You can kind of see cars are difficult, so I tried my best there. And what else do we have here? More pencil sketches. And thank you again for the show and tell. You're having patience with me. And that's my relatives again over in Queens, New York. That's their house again. Just plain pencil drawing and shading in there. In their backyard again, same thing. I was out there pencil sketching while I was visiting. Maybe I remember they were very happy. They thought I was doing a great job pencil drawing and everything and doing my artwork. And that's the pool house there. And that's the pool again there in New Jersey, the country club. And let's see what else we have here. This is my rendition of a kind of like a western hot desert type scene there with a little, maybe a roadway with some communication lines and power lines and a small hut, maybe a gas station or something. And then here another fun drawing and painting of a boat and a dock and a fish and a boathouse there, maybe a lifeguard and boathouse there. And let's see what else we have. Okay, we have our last two paintings. These are probably the earliest that I can. Gorgeous sailboats on the water there. And then that's my rendition of a boat with a rainstorm. You can see the rain coming down furiously. And a person on the boat. Maybe someone's driving the boat and the other person's out there looking around, checking for a safe spot to get into shore. And that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this. This was a show and tell. I think I have one photograph here from a long time ago on vacation. I think I took a photograph of in the Bahamas of a boat. So that's a photograph of a boat in the Bahamas along the shoreline. We were having dinner looking out over this gorgeous, beautiful scene here. Family vacation. So, wow, thanks so much for coming by and just joining me for a few minutes to do a show and tell. And the reason I do it is because so many of you, again, have been so kind and gracious to send me photographs of your artwork. And, I just like to do the same thing. I'm always here creating new videos on YouTube, and a lot of times I kind of forget that, I've been painting, for many, many years now, so I wanted to just share a little bit of the paintings that I've done in the past already that maybe many of you probably haven't seen my earlier works. This is the first time I've kind of shown my earliest things that I was doing as a watercolor artist, but I'm hoping that everyone can kind of see that it is a progression. Over time, we all get better, and as long as we're just focusing on the fundamentals of watercolor, the methods, the techniques, we're going to get better. You're going to get, I know everyone's getting better all the time, and again, thank you so much for those of you that have sent me over the years now your paintings on email. I obviously we chat online together, and I'm so happy that everyone's coming along and doing a great job and making a lot of progress in with the watercolors. So I just thank you again for watching here on my video on my YouTube channel. Thanks for coming by all the time, painting along with me and with everyone here. We have a great community together, and we're going to continue to improve and get better in our watercolors on a constant basis, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. So I'll be back soon, just in a couple days or even a couple hours, with another video. We'll keep practicing and getting better and better.